Yes, guys, I'm Darren Pearce, and this is... that one's going on. That one's going on.
That's got to go on the outtakes.
Fuck's sake.
As well as the...
Yes, guys, I'm Si. This is Cardiff City World. This is our Christmas countdown. We're really getting into the nitty-gritty now. This is number 4. Darren Pearce, sent off 4 times for Cardiff City. I believe is the record for the most red cards for any Cardiff player. But we want to talk about the man, the player, the man, the coach, the leader of these current crop of 23s who are coming through, brought through by Darren Pearce, by Gavin Chesterfield and the team, doing a tremendous job. And it's a very, very exciting time for Cardiff City fans to see that many academy players, that many academy players, that many homegrown players coming through. This is Matthew Angel. Matthew, what's the first thing you think of when I say Daz Pearce?
Definitely been the turkey to have an ear transplant in me.
Well, Merry fucking Christmas to you, Darren.
No, jokes aside, just going back to the live event we had at the Rum and Tavern, was it, I believe?
Yeah.
I just couldn't believe how open and honest he was, and just the way he spoke, how passionate he was. I didn't expect him to come, obviously with him still being involved with the club. I didn't expect him to come and be as open and honest as he was, really. And, you know, he didn't have to be, but you just had that, you know, so much respect for him. And the biggest thing for me was about the way he talked about developing players. You know, it wasn't really, his job is not based on results then, shall we say. He was quite open and honest about that. His job is based on getting players who are ready to go up and represent the first team. And I think he's doing a brilliant job with it.
Yeah, he sees his job, I think, as preparing these lads to have a career in football. And I think that is such a refreshing look at, you know, you look at modern football, everything's about money. Everything's about, like, making a quick buck, bring an academy player through so you can sell him for 10 million. Like, everything is just based around greed. And it was so refreshing to hear someone, one, give such honest opinions, but 2, talk about developing those players and preparing them to be ready and play a career in football. And look, Darren Pearce, mate, was a wicked centre-back. There was a reason, like, not many centre-backs take penalties, for instance, but him, Steve Bruce, Dennis Irwin, they spring to mind straight away as defenders who took them. But, like, he obviously had a fiery side as a player, massive a leader, like, you know, like we talked in these previous episodes about Sol Bamba, you know, Sean Morrison, people like this, but, you know, Kev McNaughton as well. And with Darren, it's exactly the same. Wears his heart on his sleeves, you know, very proud of the fact that he's a Millwall fan and stuff like that. He's, you know, played for Birmingham. He's just a lovely guy. Like, you know, I don't hide the fact that I got a tremendous amount of respect for him. I've been lucky enough to interview him a couple of times, hosted a live event with him, and I got to know him, and, you know, I speak to him. He's someone who I've got the utmost respect for, not as just as a football man.
Friends,
but like
Cardiff friends.
Yeah, football friends. But no, it's more like he's a good bloke, like.
Yeah, and 100%. But
got so much respect for him as a person, like, you know.
For him to be as successful in the role he's currently doing, like you said, because I've met him on the odd occasion as well, he comes across as a really nice bloke, but he's got that fiery side to him as well. So you know full well if something that's not going well or going right, he's not going to be afraid to pick people up on it. And I think you've got to have that about to be successful. You know, you can't be nicey all the time. You've got to be able to, you know, tell people if they're not doing things correctly, and, you know, whether that's putting an arm around someone, especially at the level he is. I know obviously he's helping support the senior team at the moment, but I suppose the way you talk to kids in the under 23s now potentially could make or break their careers.
God, yeah. How many players do you see get into the first teams and have a bad game and they fall off a cliff or they fall apart? And and it's like being a teacher, innit? It's like mentally, like all of those personalities in the 23s and the 18s and all the development players that he deals with, they all have a different personality, different issues, different lives, different things going on away from football. And him and Gavin Chesterfield and the rest, they've got to manage them to get the best out of them, prepare them for like a career, like we said, but also like to have, look, you've got to have the talent available. You can't just create these players out of nothing. So of course we're lucky. We've got this current crop of just unbelievable players coming through. But he's managing to get them ready, whereby at the start of the season, people wanted Raheem Conte to be in the first team squad, not be loaned. Joel Colwell was like, well, do we keep him because he's so highly rated, or do we give him a season playing football? You've got Bagans come through, Rubens come through. Then you've got 17-year-old Louis Giles is like super highly rated, and people want him to play over like seasoned professionals. You've got
Ronan
Capaccio, same thing, 17, and people were saying pick him instead of Perry and G at the start of the season. And then that's not even, like talking about some of the others, the Davises, the Tews, the Reindorfs, the people coming through. There's so many. And I worked out, I think the other day, or the other week, in 18 months, Cardiff could field pretty much an 11 bar the keeper of under 25s, and it wouldn't look massively out of place. You could have Kay Pacquiao on the right back, Louis Giles left back. You could have Jesper Darland and Will Fish. You could have Joel Colwell and Alex Robertson, Ruben Colwell in the 10, Ollie Tanner on the right, Kean Ashford on the left, Isaac Davis through the middle. That's just off the top of my head without thinking of your Reindorfs and your Chews and Davis and all these others that are coming through. It's super exciting. And I think Darren Pearce, look, fantastic footballer, fantastic career. Played at the top level, Premier League. He's made many appearances in the Premier League. A true Cardiff. I believe he's a Cardiff legend for his playing career and what he's done for the club since that playing career is finished. Whether it was as an ambassador, helping out with the academy, and then going on to be one of the two main guys, and now working with the first team. And make no mistake, in my opinion, he's where he should be now, which is with the first team, preparing the team for games every week. And can't fault him. Merry Christmas to Darren Pearce. I want to distance myself from Matthew's comments earlier in the video as well. It was nothing to do with me. Certainly was not scripted by me. That's all him.
Rhys David Evans told me to say it. Yeah, I'm still waiting for Darren to come up and do a training session with
don't say that now because you'll feel guilty.
Flower under 10s.
He's coming to do Lisvane first, I mean. But no, it's all good. Shout out to Darren Pearce. Most of all, what a player, what a legend. We are down to the last 3 from tomorrow. Join us tomorrow for number 3 in the Christmas countdown. Make sure you subscribe to Cardiff City World. And if you're feeling especially Christmassy, then get on and join. Let's go!
But wait! There's more!
You're a bit of a leader at all the clubs you went to. Was there ever a point in any part of your career where you sort of maybe didn't have the discipline that you look back with hindsight that you think you should have had?
I've always said, and I said, at Sheffield Wednesday, I went into Sheffield Wednesday at captain after I left Cardiff, and I learned more then about what the dynamics in the dressing room than at any of my other clubs. When you walked into the dressing, there was just something not quite right in there. I mean, there was a couple of players that were at the club but didn't want to be at the club, and that they're trying to get them off, but they're on big wages and couldn't get them out of there, and they just disrupted the dynamics within the team. And if I knew now what I knew then, I definitely would have tried a little bit harder to change it around. But you learn from the mistakes, and we ended up getting relegated, not because we were the worst side, but because the players we had in there, we should be definitely have achieved something at the football club. But there was something, there was a dynamic in the dressing room that wasn't right, and in the end it cost us
Rhodri said straight away, he said it
I
only takes like one person to not be happy, and they might not even be like a troublemaker. They might just be not enjoying it and not staying there. So they come into training every day, they're moaning to their mate, and he's not happy because he's done like the manager, and then it can spread very quick.
Yeah.
Is that the type of thing it was at Sheffield Wednesday?
Yeah,
do you think, where it was
definitely. You had players that were blaming everybody else for their mistakes. That nobody sort of took ownership of what was going on within the dressing room. You know, little cliques where you'd have your little mates. Well, I'm doing all right. My mate's doing all right, and didn't really worry about what else was going on in the team. And as captain, I didn't see it there at the time. And like as I said, if it was me now, I definitely would have changed it up. Obviously, when I was at Cardiff, I'd get into training at sort of 8:30 in the morning, and Dave Jones would be in there, and we'd sit there and have a coffee and have a breakfast, touch of breakfast together before anybody. And one of the best bits of advice, and I'd obviously take it into my managerial career as that develops, was he said, "Get rid of the crap before they get rid of you, Percy." And ultimately that's what it is. You got to get rid of the players that you don't want within the dressing room, because if you've got a bad egg or you've got someone in there that it can upset everything that goes on within the football club. It's
spread
huge.
quick.
Oh yeah, it's massive. So if there's one bit of advice, Dave.